How to hit 2000 Elo in 2024. Loads of people have gained 2000 Elo points within a year, which means you can. I gained a lot of Elo points fairly quickly, and I'm not very smart. So it's extremely possible. Now, there's one thing I wanted to mention. We've got an amazing game, by the way. This is one of the games, I call them pivotal games, where I learn a game and all of a sudden I start seeing chess in a whole new dimension. So we've got that kind of game today. There's one really important thing I wanted to share. I do think a big part of getting good at chess is by cutting things out. And I was thinking the other day, so the average person spends 4 hours a day on Instagram or Snapchat, just on their phone. Now, everyone I know spends a lot longer, more like 8 hours. But I was doing like some stuff on the calculator, and I literally realized that if you were to spend, I think, 3 hours and 30 minutes a day on your phone, you would lose like 120 days of the year just to your phone. Something absolutely crazy. I know I suffer with that a bit. I'm nowhere near perfect with the phone. I find myself spending 2 hours, 3 hours here and there. I'm trying to cut it back though. I'm getting better. But I think if you were to put that 3 hours a day on average on your phone into chess, man, yeah, you could just be crushing it. So you could be crushing it in chess. You could hit 2000 Elo. I needed to add this message because I think it's really important. Imagine if you're spending 8 hours. I mean, I think in this modern day, I mean, recently I was in London. I was meeting with a couple guys. We're at a really nice place. And this guy, by the way, he worked in tech. I told him that, because we had a chessboard out, so I told him, he asked me what my chess rating was. I said 2000 Elo. And he was just really impressed. And the reason why I say that is because I'm not actually that of a smart person. I just was lucky to not really go on my Xbox for a year and just play chess. So I thought I'd add that there. I think it's quite important. And we'll get on to the game now. So let's get into the game. So we've got a very good game today. It was played by Anatoly Karpov with the white pieces and Walter S. Brown with the black pieces. This game was played in 1972. I believe that was the same year Fischer played Thingy. I might be horribly wrong though. So we've got this game today. I think it's really good for me. I'm way more of a visual person. I don't really like to speak too much. I don't like to just rattle off, do this, do that. I like to show people stuff. So let's get into it. So Anatoly Karpov opened up with the move c4. I do want to say I've actually got a gift for you. If you're watching this, the first gift is this video, but I've got another gift for you. 2024, I'm going to give you a gift. This is a book I've never actually showed on the channel because it's almost a cheat code to chess. This got me all the way to 2000 Elo within a fairly quick time. So take it from me, it's really helped me. And the book is this. This is my gift to you today. This is a book called Winning Chess Strategies by Yasser Seirawan. Absolute killer. This is my free gift to you today. Bang, I think you'll enjoy that. Right, and I've got my Instagram, which I'm always posting stories on in the link in the description. I've also got my chess school if you're really serious about getting better at chess. Got the chess school down there. So let's get into the game. So Karpov opens up with the move c4. Karpov is one of my favorite players, by the way. Someone I just really idolize. I've heard great things about him, and I've looked at his games. He's an amazing player. So we see the move. So this is the English defense. We see the move b3. This game's very interesting. I've got lots of questions for you in this game. So if you're watching this, you're going to be taking part. You're going to be participating in this game. So we see the move bishop b2, and now the move g6. Now Karpov plays a very interesting move, and he goes bishop f6. So he's already fianchettoed here. This is called the fianchetto, and now he's taken. Right. So he's taken, and after ef6, I've only actually got really one question for you. But my question is, what was the purpose of this move, bishop f6? You can pause the video, but try solve this. Why did Karpov do this? If you did pause the video and you said, oh, it's to double the pawns, you'd be slightly right. But the real answer is actually because you can go knight c3, and now you've created this weakness. Look, there's no control over this square now by white, which means, by black, which means white has a great outpost. If you can see, black just absolutely cannot control it. So by doing this, as you see, it's taken the pawn away. And because this pawn was here, we see it was here, it can no longer control this square. So this is way more more dimensions. So now we see the move bishop g7, and now we see the move g3, getting ready to attack this square. So this whole thing is the whole reason behind taking here was to control the d5 square. So after g3, we see the move knight c6, and now bishop g2, just controlling this square. As we can see, it's working pretty well. Now we see the move f5. This is very common for black. They need to open up the bishop. They can also clamp down on the e4 square. I like to tell everyone, if you want to get better at chess, focus on controlling these 4 squares. This is what I told my sister the other day. She can hardly play chess. Like I said, if you want to get better, don't play this on the first move. Just control these 4 squares. You know, that's what the masters do, and they do it really well. So we see the move f5, and after f5, the move e3 is played. Because if you look at it here, black's kind of squares here could be this square, but it's not as strong because we can always kick it away. So the move e3, if you're ever wondering whether to play d3 or e3, well, look what your opponent's doing. Right, so this square isn't too important because there's no knight that can get here. However, this square on d4 is more important, so the move e3 defends it. We see the move castles, and now knight g to e2. This knight from g, and now it's gone to e2, can also enter this d5 square, which kind of Karpov is always kind of playing around. Now, the game is very interesting. a6, and now we see the move rook c1, and after rook c1, b5. You might be wondering, why on earth did Walter S... That sounds like the guy from Breaking Bad. I haven't seen Breaking Bad, but it sounds like his name. Why did he not go here? And because if you... that's my question to you. Why did he not go here to get the bishop out? So if you did try that question... The answer is because, well, probably the same one you got. You can't actually get the bishop out. It's pretty stuck. You don't really want to put it here. I don't think that does too much because Karpov will get these knights in anyway. So he decides to take another route and he goes b5. Makes a lot more sense attacking this pawn, attacking the center, because this controls this, which means if you can attack this, you would actually attack the center. So after b5, we see the move d3 now, just adding more defense. We see bishop b7 and now castles. Castling the king. The move d6 is now played, just controlling this, adding a bit more control to the center, and the game gets very interesting now. Queen d2, queen a5, pinning this. I've also added the eval bar because, like I said, I think humans are quite visual. So just what I think anyway. So let me know in the comments if the eval bar helps you, or do you want it or not? Let me know. Rook f, or message me on Instagram. So we see queen a5, now rook f to d1. We see rook a to b8. You might be wondering, why is rook a to b8 played? Well, the reason is because you have to defend this. If this knight moves, then bang, we can take this. So this rook really has to defend this. Now we see knight d5, using the square which we took at the very start. The reason why we took this was to pretty much just control this. So queen d2, rook d2, and now b4. Taking up more space, we see d4 attacking the center, trying to make these rooks get into the game. So we see the move rook f to d8 now. And now we see rook c to d1. Getting these rooks in, as you can see, these rooks are coming into the game. They're doubling up. You want to... If you've got 2 rooks on an open file, you want to open up the board. It's pretty simple. It's fairly logical. It's like chess is like... Lots of it is just kind of logic, but you have to learn the logic. So so after this move anyway, we see cd4, and now take back with the pawn. Take back with the pawn so you've got more central control. This is a very big tip. If you want to get better at chess, you want to hit 2000 Elo, like I said, you need to study games like this because it shows you just the very basics very well. Karpov does the basics very well, and that's what you need to be doing. That's what I try and do. I'm getting better at it, and the higher your rating is normally a reflection of how well you can do the basics. So we see king f8, we see c5 now, breaking here because there's only, if we can open up this, you'll see actually what happens because knight a7, watch this, knight a7, knight e3, we see an exchange, we see king g2, taking with the king by the way because there's no queen on the board to check and there's no light square bishop, so it's very safe to take it. Is learning those little things like that's going to help you. Now after dc5 and takes, now you see the idea. There's only really... Well, there's 2 open files on the board, but by doing this, now we control files, and files are an important thing. Lots of people, they think, like I said, 2-dimensionally, and they think, okay, I need to win material. Well, you actually need to control squares, and you need to control files. That's what I've done anyway. That's what's helped me. Now, a grandmaster can come along and say, you know what, you're talking absolute rubbish. It's just helped me. So we see the move dc5. Now, we're going to go over this fairly quick, because I feel like I've shown the pretty important stuff. Rook c8, we see a couple more moves. We see pretty much this. And the game, let's just skip to the end game. So we see some exchanges. We get into a knight end game, right? A knight there's pawns. I don't want to go over this too long because I've shown the opening. I thought that was the most important part. But another thing is the end games are very important to learn. Now, if I look at this, because there's a double pawn here, it's not going to help black's position as much as this, because white can now make a passed pawn. For example, if they were to do, let's say, this and this, then they could actually create a passed pawn at some point, which means black has to be very careful not to put all these pieces on this side of the board because he would get flank attacks. So going back a bit, after this, Karpov has the better position, but Karpov has to grind it out now. So we'll show you how he does it. He brings all these pieces in. We see this. You watch the eval bar, and we see pretty much this. We get to a very interesting position here. Bang. So it looks like a fork's going to happen. Karpov brings the back. Karpov brings the knight back. So we see this, and basically Karpov just ends up promoting his pawn. And he wins the game. So that's the game I wanted to show you. I thought this was a pretty instructive game. I really liked the very start when we saw this thing with exchanging very early on. It's just something I thought I'd teach you, because normally people just see this and they think, oh, I've doubled these pawns, but you've got to sometimes think a bit slightly more advanced. To me, this is actually a fairly new concept. So, and I kind of got to 2000 without fully knowing this too well, so it should really help you. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. I've got my Meister Chess School if you're interested in joining that. There should be a free video, I think 3 bonus things I did on the kind of landing page. So you can go watch that, go even get better. I've got my Instagram in the description. Thank you so much for watching the video. And let me know in the comments what you thought of it. Thank you so much. Have a good day.